Hey everybody, doing this old school style as a video rather than a stream. For some reason, Twitch is crashing on me hard these past couple streams I've tried to do. I don't know why, but it's very annoying. It's been very, very annoying. And I think it's something to do with my internet because over the weekend I was trying to play some Fortnite and Rocket League with my cousin, and I was also having some internet issues. So might have to make a phone call to the good old Spectrum and be like, hey, I don't know what you guys are doing, but I pay way too much money for you to be screwing me over like this. So anyway, let's talk about the deck real quick. I want to show you this one game that I was trying to get on stream. The person I played against said that they were a viewer of mine, and I thought the games were pretty interesting. It was against Ponza, and I felt like it kind of showed us, one, playing through the land destruction, but then two is swarming the board to where we kind of overpowered them. And I want to talk about this deck real quick. I pulled this just straight off of MTGO. I mean, off of Goldfish for MTGO. This plays second in like a 29-player tournament, I think this one is. But we have 1 Ash Baron, 6 Forests, 1 Holdout Settlement, 7 Plains, and 4 Thriving Groves for our mana base. Pretty simple mana base. Nothing super duper crazy. For our creature-wise, we have 3 Benevolent Bodyguards, and then the rest are Slivers. Benevolent Bodyguard being sacrifice a target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice to end a turn. So it's kind of just to help protect our Slivers. And then technically Masked Vandal isn't a Sliver, but it's also a Sliver because it's a shapeshifter. Masked Vandal is just an all-star card. So we have 4 Plated Slivers where all Slivers get +0/+1. 4 Sidewinder Slivers where all Slivers have flanking. This is where when a creature blocks, that creature gets -1/-1 to end a turn. We have 2 Sentinel Slivers. This is all Slivers have vigilance. 4 Sinew Slivers. This is all Slivers have +1/+1. 4 Hunter Slivers. This is all Slivers have provoke. Provoke is where you can force them to block your creatures, so it can act as pseudo removal. 3 Gemhide Slivers. This all Slivers can tap to add a color of any color to your mana pool, which is what kind of played part in this upcoming game. 1 Masked Vandal, 4 Muscle and 4 Predatory Slivers. Both do the same thing. All Slivers get +1/+1. 2 Quick Slivers is our last main deck Sliver, and this is all Slivers have Flash, and this also has Flash. 4 Winding Ways and 2 Lead the Stampede to find more cards. Then in the sideboard, we have 2 Crimson Acolyte, 2 Obsidian Acolyte, so protection from red, and creatures you control can gain protection from red. Protection from black, creatures you control can gain protection from black. 2 Prismatic Strands, 2 Crypt Slivers, all Slivers have regenerate the Sliver. 3 Fairy Macabres, and 2 Masked Vandals. Now the list originally had 3 Crimson Acolytes and 1 Masked Vandal. I added a Masked Vandal, went down to Crimson Acolyte because I ain't about to spend $350 on a Crimson Acolyte. So that's the deck. The idea is to just put out a ton of Slivers and overwhelm the board. Now here's the match against GLX. Shout out to GLX. They were fun games, but also I appreciate the nice comments. I guess they're compliments, but the nice comments as well. So let's just check this game out. I started with a pretty good opening hand. I felt like I wasn't sure what our opponent was on, but I knew like I had Thriving Grove for Hunter Sliver, we had Sinew Sliver, and then we had a bunch of Winding Ways to fill our hand up, and then we top decked Muscle Sliver. So I was feeling pretty happy with what was going on here. They go Forest into Utopia Sprawl and into Limboss, and I'm thinking probably Ponza. So I drew this Thriving Grove, and I thought, let's start getting creatures out before Thriving Grove. That way, if they do go Ponza here, I like land destruction here. I have an untapped land I can play next turn, and I also have Thriving Grove to re-get our red back. And I was right. They blow up our Thriving Grove, which is annoying, but we had the untapped land into Muscle Sliver. They're down to 3 cards in hand at this point. So we have 2 3/3s on the field, not feeling too bad. They scred away one of them, now I'm feeling big bad, and then they blow up our other land. So I'm like, well, they are down to 1 card in hand, so let's get our Thriving Grove down. We're going to punch in with Sinew Sliver, and then I draw Gemhide Sliver, and I thought, if I can get this Gemhide Sliver down, I can just turn all of my critters into land, and then that's going to be really good for them to deal with. Well, they go Generous Int, and crack the food token. So I'm like, all right, let's dump our hand a bit. So Gem Hide Sliver, because Sanu can tap with Gem Hide out, we go Gem Hide into Hunter Sliver. So all of our creatures can tap for mana. All of our creatures can provoke. We let them come in, crunch us here. They gain some life off of Limboss and pass. We're going to Winding Way to find some more critters. I find another Predatory Sliver. So now we have a board of 3/3s. And I'm going to punch in with our untapped. I'm not going to provoke the 5/7 Generous Int for obvious reasons. But, you know, it is what it is. They're going to go Annoyed Altasar, and I'm like, crap. They go into Arbor Elf, which is pretty good. It's pretty good for us, not really for them. They come in with another 5/5. Now here, I decide to hunt for some more creatures. I'm trying to look for another predatory muscle, another +1/+1 lord, and I found one, thankfully. A little bit of a gamble, but you know, sometimes you got to take those gambles. So I'm going to play that, and then I'm just going to start dumping my hand out here. Plated Sliver, get buffs all of our dudes up. Benevolent Bodyguard, we can do some combat trickery with, and then, you know, just extra body on board here. Now I do a punt here, but thankfully it doesn't destroy us. They boarding party here, and I'm like, oh, come on, you know, into Avenging Hunter too. So their deck's running all fire. You know, ours is running pretty hot too. So here they come in with all the dorks. I decided to double block here because I'm going to sacrifice Benevolent Bodyguard to give Predatory Sliver protection from green. That way, Predatory Sliver lives and their Annoyed Altasar dies, and we get to keep our Lord. This is just going to be a straight trade-off. It is what it is. Unfortunately, I had hit auto yield through turn, so I didn't get to do that. Thankfully, I drew Vigilance, which makes this attack a lot better. So I drew Vigilance. I know our lords die to Avenging Hunters, so I decide to put them back, use them for mana instead. And I'm going to flank the Arbor Elf here a bunch. I didn't want to target Avenging Hunter. I was like, if they want to block with Avenging Hunter, that's fine because we have flanking, and they decide to. Thankfully, flanking is a nice little trade here. And honestly, like, I kind of forgot about flanking until we went into blocks. So, you know, I should have probably done it. But I'm going to play this last Hunter Sliver here and just pass the turn. Now we have a giant board of creatures, and they scoop it up. So we go into game 2 here. And game 2, I think they mulligan kind of low. Yeah, they went to 5, but they lead on Utopia Scrawl. And I'm like thinking in my head is like, oh, are they going to have opening hand land destruction? So I go Benevolent Bodyguard. And they don't. They have another Utopia Scrawl. So I'm like, okay, cool. Because here comes this Gem Hide Sliver. Gem Hide is hopefully going to, you know, keep us above here. But they have a Scred to deal with this Benevolent Bodyguard and then into another Scred. And I'm like, ah, crap. But then they're down to 1 card and not really doing much. I decided to pick land for Winding Way here. A nice little thing is you can pick creatures or land for Winding Way. I decided to go land because I'm like, all right, we need to find some land. We have 1 green source and a lot of green in hand. I was debating at this turn, do I want to play a Muscle Sliver and start getting pressure on the board, or do I want a Winding Way while I have green to try to find some more lands? Thankfully, I did that because out of our top 4 cards, 3 were lands, so this Winding Way actually like hit pretty hard. So I'm pretty happy with that that outcome. We find another Lead the Stampede, which I'm happy about. We just spam 2 lords here and pass. I think they Avenging Hunter here. I was like, I couldn't remember. So they Avenging Hunter here. I'm fine with attacking and doing a trade here because I would rather have the Initiate. But I decided to play Lead the Stampede just to see what we find, and I found a lot of goodies. Hunter Sliver, Muscle Sliver, Plated Sliver, Sidewinder Sliver. So I find a nice little chunk of stuff here. And if I remember right, I think I play just Muscle Sliver here to get another one on the board. That way, too, they trade off, and I get to steal the Initiate. And then you'll just see us run with the Initiate for the rest of the game. get a land, so now we're kind of pretty much out of land destruction, hurting us range. They get a boarding party though into the Thermokarst, which is not that big of a deal for us. We decide to pump this Sliver up quite a bit, and here's where I'm just going to start spamming out creatures. So I'm going to give everything flanking. I'm going to give everything +1/+0. I'm going to play a Mass Vandal to blow up one of their Utopia Sprawls because I didn't really have... I had the option to play pretty much just Quicksilver or Mass Vandal, and I felt like Mass Vandal was just going to be the better option here. But I'm going to send in a Sliver because if they block with a boarding party, the flanking ability will pretty much just kill their creature, and our creature's fine. So we get in for 5 here. They have no blocks. What's interesting is they play Land of War Visionary. They draw a card. I don't think they found anything, but they come in with boarding party. I'm not sure why this attack. Maybe they just knew they were about done. I decided to trap them, deal 5 damage to them. I play the land to get red, and then I just decide, I know they're dead here, but I just decide to play out the creatures to be a little bit safe. So I just want to play another Lord just to be safe. But we get the GGs from GLX, and we come in across the board with the Slivers. It felt good. Ponza is a tier deck. Slivers is definitely more on the fringe. But it did feel good. I just wish Twitch wasn't being such a butt of trying to stream. I am still going to stream on Twitch, but if I keep getting fits from Twitch, I might hop back over to YouTube. I haven't decided yet. But I like Twitch more as a platform, but I don't know what's the deal with my internet. Maybe I need to get an Ethernet cord, but it's been a nuisance to say the least. But I'm going to bounce for today. Thanks, everybody. If you want to follow me on Twitch, watch any of my live streams, there's a link in the description down below. Follow me over there. Turn on bell notification, be notified anytime I go live. If you want to join our Discord server, there's multiple ways to do it. 1 is you can become a member here on YouTube. 2, you can become a Patreon on my Patreon. Or 3, you can sub to me on Twitch. Those are all ways you can become a member on our Discord server. And links to all my other stuff down below. I will see y'all later. Also... Hey, wait a minute. I should have said this at the beginning of the video. We are hosting a Pauper tournament November 18th on Twitch. This is a tournament where it is 50 tickets for first place. It is a standard Pauper tournament where only cards that are common and standard in the current rotation, including the new Ixalan set coming up, is legal to play. Nothing else is legal. So... got some parameters. I did a whole video on that. So I will see y'all later. Bye, everybody.